I found a secret in my grandfather's old drawer. The photo showed him in a uniform no one in our family ever knew about. How could my quiet, gentle grandfather be a soldier? The photo was black and white, and he looked young and strong. He was not smiling. His eyes looked very serious. I felt a cold shock run through my body. This man in the picture did not look like the grandfather I knew. He looked like a stranger. A dangerous stranger. I needed to find the truth. But who could I ask? My grandfather was in the hospital. He had a bad heart. The doctor said he needed surgery. My mother and I went to see him every day. The hospital was a big, white building. It smelled like medicine. Nurses in white clothes walked quietly. The sound of machines beeping was everywhere. I did not like the hospital. It made me feel sad and scared. One afternoon, my grandfather was sleeping. My mother went to talk to the doctor. I sat in the chair next to the bed. I was bored. I opened the small drawer in the table next to his bed. Inside, I found an old, brown wallet. And inside the wallet, there was a folded photo. I opened it carefully. That is when I saw the uniform. My heart started beating very fast. I knew I should put it back. But I could not. The secret was too big. When my grandfather woke up, I showed him the photo. His face changed. He became very pale. He tried to take the photo from my hand, but he was too weak. "Kenji," he whispered. His voice was a thin, scared sound. "Where did you find this?" His eyes were full of a pain I had never seen before. It was not the pain from his sick heart. It was a different pain. An old pain. Before I could answer, my mother came back into the room. She saw the photo in my hand. She saw my grandfather's terrified face. "What is going on?" she asked, her voice sharp. She took the photo from me. She looked at it. And then she looked at her father. A terrible silence filled the room. My mother's hand started to shake. "Father," she said, her voice barely a whisper. Is this from the war?" My grandfather closed his eyes. He turned his face away from us. He did not answer. But his silence was an answer. The secret was starting to come out. That night, my mother was very angry. She called my uncle and my aunt. They came to our house. They sat at the kitchen table. Their faces were hard. "We need to talk about Father," my mother said. She put the old photo on the table. "Kenji found this." My uncle, Takeshi, looked at the photo. He picked it up. His eyes got wide. "This is impossible," he said. "Father never served in any army. He was a school teacher his whole life. My aunt, Yumi, shook her head. There must be a mistake. This is not him. But it was him. The young man in the photo had the same eyes as my grandfather. The same strong jaw. It was him. My mother was very firm. We have to ask him. We have to know the truth. This is our family history. But my uncle was afraid. If we ask, it will hurt him. He is sick. The doctor said the treatment for his heart is very serious. The surgery is next week. We cannot upset him now. They argued for a long time. Voices got louder. My uncle said my mother was being selfish. My mother said my uncle was a coward. They were shouting. I sat in the corner, scared. This secret was breaking my family apart. Finally, my uncle stood up. We do nothing, he said. We forget we ever saw this. For father's health. For the recovery. He walked out. My aunt followed him. My mother sat at the table, alone. She looked at the photo. A tear fell on the old paper. I need to know, she whispered to herself. I need to know who my father really was. I went to my room. I could not sleep. The secret felt like a heavy stone in my chest. Who was my grandfather? What did he do in that war? And why did he hide it for so many years? The next morning, we got a call from the hospital. My grandfather's condition was getting worse. The surgery had to happen tomorrow. There was no more time to wait. We rushed to the hospital. The ambulance had already taken him for the pre-surgery tests. The ICU waiting room was cold and quiet. My mother, my uncle, my aunt, and I sat together. No one spoke. The air was thick with fear and the secret we all carried. After 2 hours, a nurse came out. You can see him for a few minutes, she said. But keep him calm. The surgery is in the morning. We went into his room. He looked so small in the big hospital bed. He was connected to many machines. The beeping sound was slow and steady. He opened his eyes when he heard us come in. He looked at each of us, one by one. His eyes stopped on me. He gave me a small, weak smile. You found the photo, he said. His voice was very weak, like a dry leaf. I knew this day would come. My uncle stepped forward. Father, you don't have to talk. Just rest. But my grandfather shook his head. I must. Before the surgery. In case. He did not finish the sentence. We all knew what he meant. In case he did not wake up. He took a slow, painful breath. I was a soldier, he said. A young, foolish soldier. I did things, terrible things. During the war, I saw things no man should see. When the war ended, I came home. But I could not live with what I had done. So I became a new man. A quiet school teacher. I buried that soldier deep inside. I hid the truth. From everyone. Even from you, my children. My mother held his hand. Why, Father, she asked, crying softly. Why hide it? His eyes were full of tears. Because I was ashamed, he whispered. I was not a hero. I was just a man who survived. And I was afraid. Afraid you would not love the real me. The room was silent. Then my uncle did something surprising. He took our grandfather's other hand. You are our father, he said, his voice thick with emotion. That is all that matters. Soldier or teacher. You are our father. My aunt nodded, tears running down her face. We love you, she said. All of you. I watched my grandfather's face. For the first time in my life, I saw him look truly peaceful. The old pain in his eyes was gone. He had finally told his secret. He had finally come home. But the surgery was still ahead. And we did not know if he would survive it. The machines kept beeping. The night was very long. The surgery took many hours. We waited. We prayed. Finally, the doctor came out. He was smiling. The surgery was a success, he said. His heart is strong. He will need a long recovery, but he will live. We cried with happiness. When we saw my grandfather again, he was sleeping peacefully. His face was calm. The secret was out. The shame was gone. He was just our grandfather again. In the weeks that followed, he told us more stories. Not all of them were happy. But they were true. We learned about his life, the real life he had lived. The photo stayed on his bedside table in the hospital. It was no longer a secret. It was a part of our history. I learned something important from this. Sometimes, the people we think we know have hidden lives. Hidden pain. Hidden stories. It is easy to love the simple picture we have of them. But true love means accepting all the parts, even the ones that surprise us. Even the ones that are hard to understand. The truth can be scary. But a life built on a hidden truth is a life that is not fully lived. My grandfather was finally free. And our family was closer than ever before. I still have the photo. Now, when I look at it, I do not see a stranger. I see my grandfather. A man who made mistakes. A man who carried a heavy secret. But most importantly, a man who was loved. And that is the most important story of all.